Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Reacting Chill. I'm Dika. So last time on Snowpiercer, we had Alex taking a trip down into a more traumatic past when we found out a call that Wilfred did. Well, I keep calling him Wilfred. Wilfred did back on Big Alice. When he got rid of some carriages with people still on them, and these same carriages were blocking up the track. So she went on this mission with Ben to try and get that undone. And I did mention in my last reaction, I felt like it was a good metaphor and analogy of her sort of freeing herself from Wilfred. Wilfred, on the other hand, he had already a lot of enemies, but he'd become a very dangerous and very vulnerable target in the hands of like brakeman. Is it head brakeman Roche, who decided to go get his revenge on him after what happened to his wife. Obviously, they put him and his whole family into the drawers, and then hers malfunctioned, which led to her death. We also had things in terms of with Pike and Ruth, and I did talk about that more in the last reaction. And again, we are seeing the beginnings of Layton. This was important for Layton to clear the track and get them going, because he doesn't want to delay them getting there, and on the same time he doesn't want people to catch up to his lie about New Eden and Asher and everything. Oh, and the other thing that we found out last time, that Zarah consented to the experiments on her fetus. So in the beginning, in the first episode, when I thought what on earth was Wilfred up to, that was actually something she had agreed to, because after Layton's doctor friend was doing some snooping around, she had found out that they were doing some sort of gene therapy on her. But yeah, that last time was a very good episode. Like I said, it was a walk down trauma lane for a lot of people. And here we are with episode 5, A New Life. That was another really good episode. I really liked that we had so many different parallels and so many different people, which potentially started off on the different, whether at one point on the same side, then were on opposing sides, and then kind of came back together. So I'm going to start off with, I didn't realise that Sykes' own scar came from Wilfred's dog, and then she, obviously, I could understand under the circumstances she remained loyal to him, but she obviously changed after her 6 months with Andre's crew, and obviously building relationships there. So I did like how Ben was thinking that, you know what, maybe you might be able to help with Harvey's trauma, because he was still dealing with that and being able to work. I could see where Ben was worried about keeping Harvey in the engine room, and then potentially what that could cause for the engine and for the train. So that was really good, and I really liked their dynamics. I also liked the fact that we had Till, who, again, 6 months she had spent with Audrey. She even said to her that, you know, that you've got powers, you know, her talk dojitsu, you've got powers, and the way what you do, you better hit bottom soon, because people do need you. She's technically saying you're an asset still. You're not as despicable as you were. And you know what? I agree with her. Back in the beginning, before Wilfred had turned up, and then he and her went on their own crazy shit again, she was running the night car. She was being offered a place for people to heal, for people to get over stuff. So I think Till was technically saying, why don't you get back to that? That is probably, people need that, especially now if people are getting off the train. I really, really liked where we spoke about how, okay, first obviously Josie potentially losing feeling in different parts of her body because of the cold therapy. But one is a hookup with Ben, just a hookup, because they're both kind of sad. They're both dealing with losing, like Ben said, their soulmates. You know, they're both living a different type of hell, where Josie's soulmate essentially is bringing a new baby into the world, but Ben thinks that Andre still loves her, and obviously that's complicated enough. But I do like how he brought her into the engine, trying to give her something else to do. I know, and I suppose it's kind of like tortured souls keeping each other company, which led to them hooking up. But again, I'm wondering what that might lead on to, if that actually leads on to anything. Finally, it was talked about more in the last episode, how Alex, the way she felt about Wilfred, and you know, how can you hate someone but still miss him at the same time? Technically she's become his caretaker now, and as she was sitting there, she was sort of remembering all the stuff that they went through, you know, the good times and the bad. So it's kind of like a weird reversal of roles, love-hate relationship, because he was kind of her caretaker, now the roles have reversed. So again, maybe his complete hold on her has kind of not loosened up, but she's free of him. But I guess there's still that sort of fatherly daughter bond still there. I'm not sure. I did mention this in the reaction. Again, what on earth? What is the plan here for Pike? He is convinced that himself and Ruth should be at the top. You know, Ruth should be the one leading this train. You know, even though they spent 6 months battling it out together, and I just don't like how he's almost trying to guilt trip. Like, yes, this feels terrible saying this, but is he using their feelings for one another to try and get her to come to his side? I don't understand. Secondly, he literally was about to take Layton out. The fact that Layton didn't even think, you know, he went to some of the typical suspects between himself and Till. They went to LJ and Osweiler. They tried to follow a lead. They even went to Audrey. He's not even thinking about Pike, and I'm sure it's going to slowly come back round, like, it was you, like, why, sort of thing. I want to know what Pike's end goal is here, because as Ruth said, they could find a place together, they could have a place together where he could essentially find a station. So I'm not sure why he wants to keep himself where he is, but I don't know, maybe it's a pride thing, maybe it's a man thing, I'm not sure, but I'll be very interested to see how that goes, especially now with the birth of Layton's baby. And essentially he the threat in his life, one with the fire thing going off, and obviously what happened in AgSec. So I think technically what's that going to mean, especially when Layton finds out who was responsible. And that was it for this time. Thank you so much. If you did like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.